Okay, I see the sign. So the time is 6:04 p.m. on September 24th, 2020, and I would like to call this meeting of the Charter Review Commission to order. In the interest of public health and safety, and pursuant to the Governor's Executive Order N-2920, members of the Charter Review Commission and staff are participating in this meeting by teleconference. In accordance with the executive order, the public may view this meeting online, but not in Executive Conference C-103. The city launched a virtual commenting portal, e-comment, that allows residents to comment and participate in the meeting from their own homes. You can find the link to e-comment at www.chulavistaca.gov/boards, BOARDS. Your comments must be received before I call for the close of the commenting period in order to be considered. After the commenting period is closed, I will announce a brief pause to allow the commissioners time to read any comments that have been received. If you have difficulty or need assistance with e-comment during the meeting, please call 619-219-9843 and City Attorney staff will assist you. Would the Secretary please call the roll?
Hi. Vice Chair Schofield.
Here.
Commissioner Budding.
Here.
Commissioner DeSharoon.
Here.
Commissioner Hopita.
Here.
Commissioner McDonald.
Here.
Commissioner Glantz is absent at this time. Thank you.
Okay. So now we're in the public comment section. Public comments is the section on the agenda for members of the public to address the board on items that are not listed in the agenda. I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final public comments. Commissioners, as a reminder, please refresh the view on your screen to ensure new comments appear. Then we'll start the clock. The commenting period for public comments is now closed. Did we have any comments?
There were no comments.
Okay. So the first item on the agenda is the selection of a new commission chair. Does the staff have a presentation? No.
Thank you, Vice Chair
Like
Schofield. We have no specific presentation. The commission is at their discretion to make a motion to appoint a new chair or elect a new chair.
Okay. Do the commissioners have any clarifying questions for staff before we go to public comment? No? What? I don't think I heard anything there. Okay, I'll now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to submit any final comments on the item before the commission deliberation. As a reminder, please refresh the view on your screen to ensure new comments appear. And start the 2-minute timer. So the commenting period for this item is now closed. Have the commissioners, have we had any comments?
There were no comments.
Okay. Do any commissioners have comments or questions?
I move that Mr. Schofield become the chairman.
I second that motion.
Is there any discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. I request each member's vote by roll call. Or no, I guess Melanie does that.
Hi, I will now request each member's vote by roll call. Vice Chair Schofield,
Yes.
Commissioner Budding,
Yes.
Commissioner DeSharoon,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopita,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald.
Yes.
Thank you.
And thank you. I will do my best to keep things moving. So far, I just have to read off this piece of paper.
You're doing fine so far.
So far, I guess on the next meeting, we'll add to the agenda. I don't know how agenda items are created, but we'll have to choose a vice chair the next meeting.
That's correct, Chair Schofield. I will reach out to you before the next meeting and to consult with you on the agenda, but we will put that item on the agenda.
Okay. So the next item on the agenda is the approval of the September 9th, 2020 regular meeting minutes. Does the staff have a presentation?
No presentation. The draft minutes were provided to the commission. If there are any comments, we're here to, or questions, we're here to answer.
Okay. Any comments or questions? Have any clarifying questions for staff before we go to public comment? I will now call for a 2-minute pause to allow the public to comment and any final comments on the item before the commission deliberation. As a reminder, please refresh your screen to ensure new comments appear. So we can start the clock.
Give me 1 second, please.
No problem.
Thank you.
I gotta find my next paper to read. Okay, the time is up. Do the commissioners have
There were
any
no
comments or
comments.
questions? We could have a motion to accept the minutes.
Edgar Hopina motions to accept the minutes.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would the secretary conduct a roll call vote?
Sure. I'm sorry. Who seconded?
Commissioner Disher, and I'm sorry.
Thank you. Vice Chair Schofield?
Yes.
Sorry, Chair Schofield. Commissioner Budding?
Yes.
Commissioner Disharoon?
Yes.
Commissioner Hopita?
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is the review, screening, and selection of applicants to interview for appointment to the 2020 Redistricting Commission in accordance with Charter Section 300.5D and the Commission's approved process. So will the city clerk walk through the proceedings on this item? I think Christina or maybe Carrie.
Hi. Yes, hi, I'm here. This is Carrie Bigelow. I'm the city clerk. Thank you for having me again. And we're excited to see this process move forward. So I'm going to ask Christina to put up the slide. I thought it would be first beneficial to go through the commission's decision at the last meeting on how this process was going to work. So based on the Charter Review Commission decision on the September 9th meeting, you can see tonight is item number 1, the initial screening and nomination. So we'll be reducing the applicants from 45 to about 15. And I'll talk a little bit more about that here in just a moment. So we sent out all of the applications to the commissioners along with a district map of where each of the applicants live and which districts they live in. And we'll ask each commissioner to nominate their 12 applicants. And then we'll guide you through that process of how to do that. And then we'll let you know where the top 15 are. From that, tonight, we'll take those top 15, we'll take a short recess and be able to calculate or display the diversity for you of the top 15, along with the diversity numbers from the whole pool of 45 and from the city at large. And then the commission can decide at that time if you'd like to add anybody to the pool of finalists for diversity. So that's what we'll do tonight. At the next meeting, that will be the review of the video recorded candidate statements. So you may recall at the last meeting that the commission decided to do 3-minute video pre-recorded candidate statements. So our office will work with the finalists to have those ready for you. And we will also ask the finalists to be prepared to join the meeting by phone while at that same meeting where the videos are being reviewed in case you have any follow-up questions for anyone, so we can hopefully quickly get them on the line. So that we have that anticipated for the special meeting October 7th. We estimate it'll be about an hour and a half, 2 hours to go through about 15 or 20 applicants for that process. We're suggesting that the Charter Review Commission then consider delaying the decision until the following regular meeting on October 14th. That way that may take some time to go through, and so that's the commission's decision if you want to break it up that way. But that would be our recommendation, just to keep the meetings a little bit shorter, easier to digest, allow you time to think about the recorded candidate statements and who you'd like to select as the part of the pool of 10. So at the third meeting there, you'll see the Charter Review Commission will select the pool of 10 from the list of finalists. So we currently have that slated for your next regular meeting on October 14th. The selection of the pool of 10 will be the same as the process used in 2015 as decided by the commission at the September 9th meeting. So at that meeting, each commissioner will be given the opportunity to vote for 5 candidates. I'll tabulate those during the votes. Each candidate who receives 4 or more votes will be included in the pool of 10, and then we'll repeat that process until 10 are selected. So that's the overall process that we have laid out for you. And our next part of tonight's process are a couple of items for the commission to consider. One is, does the commission want to automatically accept the top 15 if there's a clear line of the top 15 tonight? So tonight you've come with your top 12. As you read them off, we're going to put them into a spreadsheet and we'll tell you how they rank. And there may or may not be a solid cutoff at the number 15. There may be a number of ties, but that aside, if there is a clear delineation where that 15th of the top 15 applicants, does the commission want to discuss that, or do you want to just leave it with those 15 applicants that you've come up in the process that's already established. So for example, if one of the candidates was number 16 on the list, but several commissioners felt really strongly that that candidate had good qualifications, does the commission want to entertain discussion about potentially adding another candidate to the list or replacing someone on the list of 15? Or do you want to just go through the process and stick with the top 15? So that's question number one. Question number two, before we get into the nominations, is what's the maximum number that the commission wants to advance at this stage, keeping in mind that additional applicants may be added later on this evening for diversity. So there could be the scenario where there are a number of ties for place number 15. I don't know how many that would be. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 10. So does the commission want to include anyone who's, number 15, even as part of a tie? Or do you want to narrow it down and just keep it at exactly 15, in which case we can suggest some options of how you wanted to do that? So those are the two questions. And Chair Schofield, if okay with you, we would like to entertain any questions of the commissioners. And we'll just do questions at this time, and then we'll take a break for the 2-minute pause for public comments on this portion of the item to allow the public to weigh in before the commissioners make any final decisions.
Okay. I think that's fine. The other handout about the process, you're going to go over that after this 2 minutes are over?
We did provide you
Oh, you
with
did
the outline of the
Okay.
meeting. We didn't send that out to all the commissioners. We sent that out just to you, but I have it here and we'd be happy to display it on the screen if
Okay.
you'd like
Well,
to
it's
do
very
that and
similar
go
to
through all the steps for tonight.
what you've described. So, okay. I think do the commissioners have any questions or clarifications for Carrie?
No, I would comment that if there's clearly a top 15, then and they pass the diversity issue, then we're probably pretty much done by then. That's my thought about that.
Okay. For some reason, I can't see people's videos at the moment. So you'll have to speak up if you want to say something. Okay. Well, I agree that, oh, there we go. Yeah, I think the top 15, I mean, for now, let's just go with do the top 15. That's question number one. Or we're not deciding on this now, right?
Not quite yet, Chair Schofield. If you don't mind, we'll put up the display for the 2-minute timer and
Yeah.
allow the public to submit any comments, and then we can come back and the
And talk
commission can discuss and, yes, decide how to
Okay,
move
so for
forward.
the 2 minutes should start now for the opportunity comments.
There were no comments.
Okay, no comments. I also noticed that Todd Glanz apparently has joined us by audio, but apparently not video. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Did you hear Carrie's 2 questions for us to consider?
I had
Well, let me maybe Carrie should refresh the 2 questions.
Yeah, I had difficulty getting
Yes, I'll be
on,
happy to.
so here I am now, though. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's great. Okay. Carrie?
So the 2 questions for the commission to address right now is, does the commission want to automatically accept the top 15 candidates if there's a clear line of candidates, or does the commission want to discuss the list of 15 before making any final decisions? So for example, if there's a clear-cut line at number 15, but there's a couple of commissioners who feel strongly about candidate number 16 who's not included in the list, does the commission want to entertain discussion about potentially adding that person to the list or replacing someone on the list of 15 with that individual? Or if the top 15 are identified, does the commission want to stop there and just move forward with those 15 that are identified? So that's
Okay.
question number 1. And then question number 2 gets into how the commission wants to deal with ties. So if there are more people in the top 15 because of ties, there could be the top 17, there could be the top 20. How does the commission want to address the ties? Does the commission want to reduce the number of ties in some manner? And we can talk about what those options might look like so that we end up with a list of 15. Or does the commission want to allow anybody who ties to go forward in the next process? So those are the 2 questions that are at hand.
Okay.
Right
and
now.
I think, Jan, you made a comment about the first question earlier.
Yeah, I mean, if it's clear, then I think it should be easy. If there's ties, yeah, I think that we should probably go over the list of people who were tied, actually, if there's ties, we should probably have the diversity check run, and that might help us figure out who to winnow off the tie list. If there's a lot. If there's only a couple ties, so it's like 16 or 17, I don't think that's that big a deal. But if we're getting, more than that, the interview process is going to be bogged down.
Right. Yeah, I think I agree that if there's 15, and we should just go with it. Having said that, there's 3 people I really would like to have on this commission. And so if they're not on there, I'd have to think twice whether I want to, speak in their behalf. What's amazing to me is the 45 people that applied. It was very impressive, and it was a difficult job to try and narrow this down. I think it's reasonable to think any one of these people could have been on this commission. And 45 this year versus 25 the last time, that's great for civic participation. So, any other comments on these 2 questions?
I agree that if there's a clear-cut 15, that's what we go with tonight. I wouldn't predict that would happen, but we'll just go through it and see, and then have some dialogue if it is a couple of close calls, and maybe we can whittle it down with just a little bit of dialogue, but exit with the 15 tonight would be desirable.
Yeah. It also sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong, but if there are ties, we might want to wait and see how we deal with it rather than come up with a rule right now. Is that the consensus?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I agree as well.
Okay.
So if I can just clarify for everyone's benefit, what I'm hearing is if there's 15, we move forward, no more discussion. If there's some ties, Then we run the diversity analysis and then have discussion after that. Is that accurate?
That's exactly to me.
Yeah. I guess we need a motion on this. It's, I feel I would like to have the opportunity for a couple of people, if they didn't get selected, to sort of lobby on their behalf. Maybe not. It might depend who they are and who the other people were selected.
Well, we're going to have some dialogue at the end of this for the 15. Why don't we hold that if it's not an issue and those 3 people float, or if any other commissioner has a burning desire for one of the candidates, you go through the numbers. If 15 float and everybody's happy, bless it. And if there's more dialogue needed, we could do it at the end based on the need.
Okay. So the suggestion is to collect everyone's 12. I believe that's what we're supposed to submit. Collect the 12, see if you got 15. If everybody's happy, go. But chances are we'll have some ties. There'll be 1 or 2 to add or delete. But anyway, that's the idea. We'll collect everyone's 12, see if there's a clear 15, and then ask if that's acceptable for everyone.
So the commission is open to discussion if there is, even if there is a clear vote for a top 15, the commission is open to further discussion on that 15 hearing from Commissioner Schofield.
Well, that's my preference, but I'm just one of several people who get to decide.
I think that's fine.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, it's fine with me. I mean, we might have to have discussion after the diversity review anyway.
Okay, Todd? It's Todd.
I think I'm getting, so we're, well, okay. That's, I guess we're all gonna submit our lists and then, there's a tally and then see who has the most and if there are ties. Okay. If I got that right.
Edgar?
I have a question about how we submit the list. Are we just going to read off our 12? Is that how it's going to work? Okay.
Okay. And then Christina, you're going to tabulate them?
Yes, that's correct.
I can see you nodding.
Yeah, sorry. I was double muted.
Okay. So you want to just start with in whatever order you think is best?
Hi.
Jill, does that give, apologize, Marissa, does that give you enough direction, Jill, on or understanding of the commission's direction on the items? Are we prepared to proceed with asking each commissioner for the 12 nominees?
My understanding is that there will be, after the 12 submissions from each commissioner are announced, we will tally and we will determine the top 15. And then it will still be subject to further commission discussion on whether we add additional applicants to that top number.
Okay. Is that everyone's understanding? Okay.
I think I see 4 nodding heads, which is all we need. So good.
Okay. So how are we submitting our names and who goes first?
So we will ask commissioner by commissioner for your names, and then Christina will tally them as we go through. And then once we have the list, once we have everybody's top 12, then we'll share the list on the screen and see where the nominees fall. So we'll start with Commissioner Budding. If you'd like to go with your 12, and if you could read just a little bit slowly so Christina can try to keep up with you.
Jan, I can't see or hear you.
Perhaps we'll move on, and Marissa, if you're available, perhaps you can reach out to Commissioner Budding and see if he's having difficulty. Maybe he needs to just log back in.
Carrie,
Commissioner
I'm
Disharoon?
ready.
Are
Yeah,
you
okay.
ready, Jan?
Yes.
No.
This is Commissioner Disharoon, and I'm going to read off my 12 selected candidates.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
David Bame, and I hope I'm pronouncing the name correct, B-A-M-E. Bradley Davis. Elidia Dostal. Miguel Duran. Carl Harry. Michael Juan. Brian Polte. Michael Guzman. Val Jimenez. Carmelita Larabaster. Maritza Nash. Margarita Perez Garcia. Did I go too fast?
No, I got them.
That's all.
That's
Yeah,
the
Christina,
12.
if you wouldn't mind reading back the names to Commissioner Disharoon, just to make sure that we have them recorded properly.
Of course. I have David Bain, Bradley Davis, Elidia Dostal, Miguel Duran, Michael Guzman, Carl Harry, Val Jimenez, Michael Juan, Carmelita Larabaster, Maritza Nash, Margarita Perez Garcia, and Brian Polte.
Correct.
Thank you.
I'm back.
Commissioner
I'm back. I
Betty?
got frozen out. Okay, I'll read my list. David Bame, Francis Boric, Jacqueline Cannon, Rodolfo Izai Castillo, Alida Dostal, Miguel Duran, Michael Juan, Justino Martinez, Robert Moreno, Richard Pulido, Juan Carlos Rico, and Sofia Rodriguez.
I missed 2 on that one. I thought I heard you say Christina, but I'm not saying a Christina, or maybe that was just in my head.
No Christina.
Was it potentially Carmelita? Could you read the last 5 to me again, please?
The last 5, Justino Martinez, Robert Moreno, Richard Pulido, Juan Carlos Rico, and Sofia Rodriguez.
Okay, thank you. Got it. And then I'll read them back to you.
Okay.
So I have David Bame, Francis Boric, Jacqueline Cannon, Rodolfo Izai Castillo, Elidia Dostal, Miguel Duran, Michael Juan, Justino Martinez, Robert Moreno, Richard Pulido, Juan Carlos Rico, and Sofia Rodriguez.
That's it.
Great, thank you. Commissioner Glanz.
What, can you have me go last? I did this by numbers, and now I shouldn't have done it that way. So I'm compiling a list a lot faster if you have me go last.
Yes, sir, we'll come back to you.
Thanks.
Commissioner Opita.
I apologize. I didn't have mine in alphabetical order. I just made my 12 and then, yeah, so I apologize for not having them in alphabetical order. Christina, sorry. Okay, so you ready? Okay, Kanisha Fortner, Michael Juan, Becky Them, Paulina Martinez.
Second. What was the first one?
The first one was Kanisha Fortner.
Fortner. Okay. And then Michael Juan.
And then Becky Thim, Paulina Martinez Perez, John Kressler, Francis Boric, Christina Martinez, Manuel Vasquez, Elidia Dostal, David Bain, Jacqueline Cannon, and Martiza Nash.
Okay. I can read them back to you, but I can read them back in alphabetical order because I cannot remember the order you gave them to me.
Okay, all right. So I'll look through my list then. Okay.
Okay. David Bain, Francis Boric, Jacqueline Cannon, John Kressler, Elidia Dostal, Kanisha Fortner, Michael Juan, Justino Martinez, Paulina Martinez Perez, Maritza Nash, Becky Sim, Manuel Vasquez.
Yeah, you got them. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner McDonald.
Okay, my top 12 are Stella Andrade, David Bain, Rodolfo Castillo, Lydia Dostal, Kanisha Fortner, Carl Harry, Dina Helbig, Gloria Hurtado, Michael Juan, Deborah Kodama, William O'Rourke, and Leslie Randolph.
Okay, and I'll read them back to you. I have Stella Andrade, David Bain, Rodolfo Azai Castillo, Elidia Dostal, Kanisha Fortner, Carl Harry, Dina Helbig, Gloria Hurtado, Michael Juan, Deborah Kodama, William O'Rourke, Leslie Randolph.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
Chair Schofield.
Okay. Alphabetical order. Andrade Stel, Aragundy Cynthia, Dostal Elidia, Fortner Kanesha, George Brittany, Hurtado Gloria, Larabasta Carmelita, Moreno Robert, O'Rourke William, Padilla Gustavo, Rodriguez Sofia, and Vasquez Manuel. Is that 12?
Yes, that was 12. So I'll read them back to you in the same
Okay.
order. Andrade Stel, Aragundi Cynthia, Dostal Elidia, Fortner Kanisha, George Brittany, Hurtado Gloria, Larabaster Carmelita, Moreno Robert, O'Rourke William, Padilla Gustavo, Rodriguez Sofia, and Vasquez Manuel.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Commissioner Glanz.
Okay. Lorenzo Sobreros, these aren't alphabetical, but Stella Andrade, Cynthia Aragundy, Cindy Aragundy, David Dane, Brian Bahara, Jacqueline Cannon. Now I have R. Castillo and C. Castillo. I'm sorry that I didn't put the first names down. And then C. Pitts. I believe that's 12.
Commissioner Glantz, what was the last one?
A C. Pitts, Pitts. Yeah.
I don't see it on the list.
I don't have anybody by that name. Which numbers were you referring to? Were you referring to the ones that were on the district map?
That's what I was doing. Pitts. Let me give you another one then, because I had some others. All of these, actually, I did not rule out anyone. That's how I started. Kanisha Fortner.
Yeah, Kanisha Fortner, got that one.
And then I've got some other. Well, if that's not 12.
So I have 9, but I might have missed one. Would you like to give me
Go ahead.
the first?
Stephen Hawking, Hawking. And Val Jimenez.
Okay, I have Val Jimenez. I don't have a Hawking. You said H-A?
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, Hawking.
No.
Well, then I wrote the
Earlier
name
you
down.
had said you had put them in numbers. Is that the numbers that we had assigned the 1 through 45 on the district map? Because maybe you can just give me the numbers and I can look at the district map.
Well, I'm not working from that anymore, so let me give you a couple others, okay? Dr. Michael Juan.
Okay, that makes 11.
Okay. And Tino Martinez.
Okay. I'm going to read back to you the 12 that I have.
Okay.
It's Stella Andrade, Cynthia Aragundy, David Bain, Brian Barraura, Jacqueline Cannon, Cesar Castillo, Rodolfo Azay Castillo, Lorenzo Cebreros, Kanisha Fortner, Val Jimenez, Francis Juan, and Justino Martinez.
I have Tino Martinez. I think his name might be Justino as well. So if it's the same one, yes.
Yeah, the only other Martinez is
that's
different
him.
name.
That's okay, that's good. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners.
So, as I understand, you're going to tabulate and give us some results. Are we supposed to have a period for e-comments at this point? I don't know.
You don't need to take a moment for e-comment quite yet.
Okay.
Christina is going to do a little bit of magic on her spreadsheet and see where we land with the top 15. And I'm looking to Christina. Can we do that in a minute or two, or would you like to ask for a short recess?
It's completed.
Oh, okay. And if you'd like to go ahead and share it on the screen, then everybody can take a look at the top, the nominees. Thank you. And I did want for the
very
commissioners,
small.
for the commissioners' benefit, Christina can increase the size a little bit more. The other thing you can do is on your video screen on the left-hand side, there's 3 little icons. One is a magnifying glass with a zoom in. So you can actually zoom it in yourself as well and look at it if you'd like to see a closer look.
I had a quick question, Christina. What does column 1 signify?
I'm entering their rankings right now, so you can see where
okay.
15 would lie.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And also on your WebEx, if you kind of scroll over to the left side of the screen, probably where the last names are showing, there's little icons, and there's actually a plus sign and a minus sign, so you can zoom in as well.
So the nominations are showing us that there are a top 20. So those are nominees who received 2 or more nominations. There were, let's see, about 11 people who had 2 nominations. And so that's where the extra ties are coming in. And if you like, Chair Schofield, I'll be happy to read off the names of the top 20 or look to you for how you'd like to proceed in the discussion. I know the commission wanted to potentially discuss how to handle ties or if there was anyone who wasn't included in the top list going forward.
Well, interesting results. I think we were all hoping that we would have a lot more consensus. There's really only 4 people with the majority as I look at it. There's a few more that got 3 votes, which is half. Can people see the scores well enough to?
I can see all of the scores well enough.
Now Todd can't see them. Can Todd see them? Todd? Maybe he's, well, it says he's here, but his microphone's muted. Suggestions on how to go forward?
Can we do a diversity analysis of the top 20?
I couldn't hear that.
Can we do a diversity analysis of the top 20?
That would be my recommendation, since you're already at 20, to do your diversity analysis based on that group and then make your decisions from there.
Should we do the diversity analysis limited to the tied candidates and take the top more consensual candidates to get, I mean, that's what I would do. I would take the top ranking members and then all of the tiebreakers, we could look at their diversity and move them into the 15, winnow the 5 from there out of the 10. Excuse me, is it 10? No. How many tiebreakers are there? 2?
I can see, by the way. I couldn't get to the darn unmute.
Okay.
There are 12 that have scored 2 nominations.
And we have to do a diversity analysis of everybody.
I think you put everybody in it because everybody should be in it. I mean, chances are we're not going to eliminate the top 4, but there's 2 votes or 3 votes. I don't know what other people think.
We're looking for the best candidates and making sure that the list of candidates reflect diversity. Why wouldn't we take what the consensus is, the best qualified candidates, put those into the 15, and then take the 12 candidates that are tied and ensure that we have adequate diversity for the total roster out of that to come up with the additional number to hit the 15.
Yeah, I think
The commission should reflect diversity, right? Every individual cannot reflect diversity.
I think we should have the same.
I agree with Commissioner DeSharoon.
I think in this case, the top 4, if they were all, of one particular group, gender and whatever, you might want to think you'd have to include them. But here, clearly, we've got 4 different people, 2 male, 2 female on the surface. I don't see a problem.
Yeah, I'm suggesting that you take the top 11, at row 11, I apologize, where you have 3, 4, and 5, and I would call those the top candidates. Then when you enter into row 12, where you have 2s, those are the tied contenders. So we accept on the 15 roster the nominations that have the most consensus. Once again, row 11, 3, and up to 5. Then the 2s, those get evaluated for diversity, and we populate the remainder of the 15 from that bunch, ensuring that the overall roster reflects diversity.
Yeah. This is Jim. I think you have to include everybody. For example, if the top 11 were all Hispanic females, and then the rest of them, there were no Hispanic females, diversity would suggest you add more.
There's not all females.
I know what the reality is, but I'm talking about the process.
I agree with Schofield.
Edgar?
I had a quick question about diversity. Does diversity also mean which district that they come from? Because my 12 was predicated on which district they resided in. So that was part of my decision process in getting the 12 together, in addition to ethnic and then gender. So that's a question of clarification, maybe for Carrie. Does district also play the diversity dynamic?
Thank you, Commissioner Hopita. As part of the diversity analysis that we do, we will include the candidate's district. Jill can jump in and tell us legally if their district means diversity, but it's certainly something that the commission could still take into account at this point to ensure that there's representation. So when we do the diversity analysis, we'll be sure to include the districts for you as well, so you can make sure that there are representation from around the city.
I agree with what Carrie said. Diversity includes district as well as racial, ethnic, and gender criteria. So the goal is to get a pool that's diverse so that your final commission seated will be diverse. So At this point, if you want to kind of guarantee seating to your top 3 or 4 or 8, I think are kind of the breakdowns. You could do that, but we could still run the diversity analysis with your top 20 and see how that shakes out.
I think we should do the diversity analysis for the top 20, and that'll tell us everything that we need to know, including the districts. Because right now, looking at this, what we're seeing on the screen, we can't tell if we have any diversity for districts for sure. So let's just run it and get that done.
I think so. We're not bound. We're not bound by it, but I'd say run it.
Yeah.
I agree that we should have the diversity analysis, but I'm thinking we should have it for all of the candidates. You know, they can still stay ranked. I think if you cut it at 20, that perhaps, you know, thinking that we're going to exclude.
I think if we do the top 20, these are people that have got at least 2 votes, and the other 25 got 1 or no votes.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So can I suggest, or maybe I should make a motion to run the diversity on the top 20?
Second.
The discussion? It's not binding, it's just running the numbers. Okay, so maybe we should call the roll call vote. Then moved and seconded to run the diversity on the top 20 candidates.
All right. Chair Schofield,
Yes.
Commissioner Budding,
Yes.
Commissioner DeSharoon,
Yes.
Commissioner Hopita,
Yes.
Commissioner McDonald,
Yes.
Commissioner Glantz.
Yes.
Thank you.
So I believe next is if Christina would be so kind as to run the diversity report, and how long will that take?
Yes, Chair Schofield, she started running the diversity analysis already. And if it's acceptable to you, we'd like to ask for a 10-minute recess to allow us to put all of that information together and then come back to the commission and present the diversity analysis.
Okay. Any
We'd
objections?
ask for a 10-minute recess.
By any commissioners? I don't see any. I don't hear any. Okay, 10-minute recess. Its time is 7:07, so it's 7:17. It's airplane time. So a short recess.
Thank you. And we will put up a slide in case there are any individuals watching, and we'll ask the commissioners to keep their microphones on mute while we're in recess. So we'll be right back with you.
Are we back with everyone? Looks like it. And do we have results? Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. And yes, we do have results, Chair Schofield. And
Okay.
Christina will be sharing her screen momentarily, and we'll go through those.
Sorry, I had a lot of Excels up. I want to make sure I have the right one.
Welcome back. So I guess, there we go.
And Chair Schofield, Christina's going to increase the size here. And if you like, I'd be happy to go through the results and orient the commission to this particular spreadsheet.
I think that's a good idea.
Okay. And just as a reminder for commissioners, if you are looking and you want to zoom in some more, there's a zoom in button on the left-hand side of the where you can see the screen. It's about in the where the second blue box is, and it's on the far right-hand side, so you can zoom in a little bit more. But I'll go through the diversity data. So we did ask Human Resources to put together this diversity data, which they've done. They put together the initial spreadsheet based on all of Chula Vista and with the 45 applicants. And now what Christina has done is just added in the 20 applicants. So on the left-hand side where you see the blue headers, those are for race and ethnicity. The top box is for all of Chula Vista. So it shows Hispanic at 58%, white at 16.8%, Asian at 17.3%, Black at 5%, two or more races at 2.4%, American Indian at 0.1%, Pacific Islander at 0.4%, and other at 0.16%. So for the top 45 applicants, that's what you see in the second box there. And so for the top, for all 45 applicants, 55.56 were Hispanic, 22.22 were white, 4.44 Asian, 6.67 Black, 8.89 two or more races, and there was one candidate which represents 2.2% unknown who didn't answer the question. For the top 20 applicants that the commission has selected, 55% are Hispanic, 20% are white, 5% are Asian, 10% are Black, 10% are two or more races. So that's the data on the left-hand side. Below that, you see a small box that shows the districts of the applicants. So out of the top 20 applicants, and Christina, if you could zoom in on that little window for where the districts are, just to make it a little bigger. For the districts, for District 1, out of the 20, there are 5 applicants in District 1. There are 3 applicants in District 2. There are 9 applicants in District 3. And there are 3 applicants in District 4. So that's your total 20 applicants and their district of residence. And Christina's going to zoom back out, and on the right-hand side with the peach-colored headers, that's the gender diversity. So again, the first box is all of Chula Vista, the second box is all 45 applicants, and the third box is the top 20 applicants. So gender for all of Chula Vista is 49.7% male and 50.3% female. For the 45, all 45 applicants was 58% male and 40% female. And then for the top 20 applicants, it's 55% male and 45% female.
Can we put a column on the spreadsheet of the results that tells us which district each of the top 20 people are in?
Where you can see it on the spreadsheet next to the individual's names, is that what you're asking?
Yes.
And we're just looking at the
I'll
top
look to
20.
Christina and see how doable that is. Yes.
Yeah, I think, I'm sorry. I think Chair Schofield said, yeah, the top 20. Yeah, we need to know the districts for the top 20, please.
Yeah, any general comments or observations on this data? Edgar?
I think ethnicity-wise, we're sort of on the right track. I noticed that there wasn't too many Asians applicants. I think there was like 2 maybe from what I recollect from the 45. So we can't really help that. But I think for the rest of it, I believe, yeah, I think we're on the right track as far as diversity and ethnic background. I think there needs to be more of a balance. I think there should be more, or at least 50% on the side, at least the top 15 that we get. But yeah, but I think, yeah, we're kind of on the right track, I feel.
I'm not sure I understood your last sentence there.
I think we're on the right track as far as both gender and ethnicity. With district, I think it'd be great, because I know 4 districts and we have 15 people. So my guess is at least have 3 in each district, and then we have to pick the remaining 3 who's going to represent more on at each of those districts. That's what I'm thinking to make it fair. But I think, yeah.
Carrie?
Thank you. I apologize for the oversight, Chair Schofield. We did intend to request that you allow another 2-minute public comment period for anybody who may be listening to weigh in on the diversity and the final selection. So if there are any questions of the commission, we'll be happy to answer those. And with your permission, Chair Schofield, we'll do the 2-minute timer for any public comments at this point.
Yes, good idea. 2-minute period now.
Thank you.
I'm wondering if you could put the spreadsheet back up so people could see it. Oh, I see. Never mind. So time is up. Any
There were
comments?
no comments. No, no comments.
Okay. Commissioner comments on that spreadsheet, general observations, suggestions?
One, my thinking is we should look for 4 from each district, so that'd be 16. That's it.
Okay. Other suggestions? Jill?
Just to give some context and background for the commission, that the goal here is to, of course, reach a diverse pool of applicants. But it doesn't have to be exact science, because there are a few more steps in the process. So you're going to do your interviews, and then you're going to select your 10, and then we'll select randomly the 4. And then the goal, and kind of just to give you some historical background, the goal in having the random 4 select the additional 3 was that, so after that random 4, we would know what the picture was, and then they could look at what that was and select the other 3 to meet that diversity and to kind of fill in if needed to make it a whole picture to represent the community. So although we want to, of course, give them a pool where they can reach that goal from, it doesn't have to exactly meet the dynamics and diversity of the city at this point, as long as you have a general diverse pool. I just wanted to give you that kind of historical viewpoint.
Okay.
Comment, if I may.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think ultimately there should be the same number of representatives from each district. That should be a requirement for us. That's all.
Okay. Other comments? Observations? I have one observation to start with. I think 20 is too many, that we need to narrow it down a little bit. Or does somebody want to go with 20?
I think we should narrow it down.
Okay. I see nodding heads too. Okay. I knew that was going to be narrow it down. Looking at the diversity thing, the 2 things that struck me a little bit out of balance were more males than females, and more from District 3, I believe it was. There were 9 candidates from District 3, and not as many from others. I mean, one idea would be to eliminate at least 2 or 3, 4, maybe 5. But once you start eliminating one, if you eliminate 2 people, then the statistics can all change, you know. So comments, Edgar?
I think what will help is the district breakdown of the top 20 that we have on the list.
Okay. And when the spreadsheet gets posted, I can't see all the hands necessarily, so you may have to be a little assertive if you want to say something. So are we ready? Carrie?
Christina can share the list here in just a moment that'll show the districts for all of the candidates. So she's just preparing to share that.
Okay, no problem.
And so now on the spreadsheet, they still remain in rank order for the top 20, and then there's a column added on the right-hand side for their district that they reside in.
So if people don't mind, I'm going to walk through this a little bit. The top 4 have majority of nominations, either 5 or 4. And then you go down to the top 8, you've got at least half the nominations. So presumably, even if 3 people voted no, you'd still have a tie there. So maybe the top 11 are fine. Then at the top 11, well, there's 2 from District 1 and 2 from 2 or 3 from 3, 2 from 4. There's only 1 from District 2, it looks like.
Yeah, number 20, Mr. Vasquez is from 2 also. So we might want to put him in the final poll.
That's a
Well,
suggestion.
What was interesting also is that the 4 that have not unanimous, but majority agreement equally represent all 4 districts. So that was pretty cool. The first 4.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't we take the top consensus starting at the 3, then the 4, then the 5, automatically make them part of the population of 15, and then we pull from all of the tied candidates, starting with the least amount of district representation of the top candidates.
Yeah, I think that would work for me.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yes.
I'm okay with it.
Any objection? So, yeah, maybe you can, yeah, you got them selected. So now we've got 12, whoa. We've got 12 people, 8 that are chosen and 12 more. Out of the 12, we want to choose 7, more or less. And
yeah, we want to start with the least represented district-wise, right? I mean,
right.
We've got district.
That was Mr. Vasquez. He was the only one from District 2.
Right. So we would start with the tiebreaker evaluation. And this is where we could get into some candidate discussions if you would like.
Yeah.
You could take the pool of the tiebreakers that are from the least represented district, which is 2, as stated. We could look at the tie candidates that are from District 2 and start floating those accepted candidates into to eventually create the 8. And then we could just go by least represented district and do it that way. Am I making sense to you?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
I mean, we all looked at a lot of applications and resumes, but if there were some burning desires that any of us had, because I am of the consensus with most people that spoke, I was really impressed with the depth of the candidate roster, and we had a lot of really good candidates. And I too did not disqualify anybody from any of the data that I looked at. It's a good population, so I don't think we can really go wrong. And if we sweep through, the one remaining gap is now to have accurate district representation and make that the remaining criteria. I think that would get us. And then if any of us looked at those applications and the tiebreaker is something that they have a burning desire, then it enhances the consensus of the tiebreaker, I would call it. You know, I don't have anybody because I don't know any of these, candidates. But if some of you did have a direct relationship with someone who, gave them a recommendation, or you've seen them through other volunteer activity, maybe that could be how we go from the tiebreaker.
It's a possibility, although I think we need to weigh heavily on what was submitted, because just because I know somebody doesn't mean they're better qualified than the people I don't know.
No, excuse me, Chair, if I misspoke, if I said to rearrange your voting. But now we are determining a tiebreaker. So we have who we all selected, and in discussion of each tiebreaker broken out by district to, to rebalance the candidate by district to ensure a geographical representation. If any of the candidates in our resume review struck us as someone that you would like, but just didn't make your top 12, that dialogue could get into the tiebreaker. That's what I was proposing.
Yes. Oh, okay. Yeah. Can we look at just rows? Now it's gone. Just the people who got two votes. Just the rows with the people who got 2 votes. Because we've got 8, correct? And there's 12 people that got 2 votes, and we need to.
And actually, let's just put Mr. Vasquez up at the top 2 because he's the only one from District 2.
Okay,
So
I
that
think.
Means we have one less to worry about, and then we
Anybody object to that?
we can just highlight everybody else that got 2 votes and look at those and talk about them.
Okay.
So we need the list back up on the screen.
So there's 9 we've settled on, more or less. I mean, looks like 9.
So that means we have 6 more to go, right, to get to 15?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Okay,
give me a couple minutes to change this around.
I'm impressed by your Excel.
Yeah. Christina has spoiled us with her 5-second calculation previously. Now we expect.
Yeah, that would take me an hour if I had to do it.
I would never try to show something live in process. But one of the things I think to consider is, for me personally, a preference for more female candidates out of there, and maybe fewer from, I forget which district had the most. One of the districts had 9 people, I think.
That's 3. I think it was 3.
I think it was 3. Any comments on how to approach it? Do we?
I think we
I
go.
need to see the list.
Yeah, we go
You need to
district
see
by
the list,
district
okay.
now. So we take a
That's
look
fine.
at who has the most representation, and then we go down and try to select a tiebreaker from the underrepresentative geographic.
Okay, you're talking about by district?
Yes, when I say geographic,
Okay.
it's the districts.
And I believe Christina is just finishing up and she'll be back momentarily with the spreadsheet.
Are there any refreshments that are being provided? Ah, at least one. I bought 5 pounds of dark chocolate covered roasted espresso beans, and it's going to last me 6 months.
Bragger.
Nice
I
choice.
only eat 1 or 2 a day.
So while we are on break, Todd, are you still there? Not seeing you, I am concerned that we may have lost you.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
Manuel Vaz is from 1. I thought he was from 2. Oh, I guess not.
Okay,
Is it
so I
one?
do have a correction, and that's why I jumped off for a second. These are my districts were off one number because I copied and pasted one cell incorrectly. So your top eight, I'll show you your top eight are, the districts changed a little bit. Hold on. And then I have also the ties already ready for you.
So if I understand, the top 8, District 1 has 2 people, District 2 has 1, District 3 has 3, and District 4 has 2.
Correct.
So
now the approach could be we go to the tiebreakers from District 2.
and pick 2, maybe try to get 3 in,
Yeah.
at least 3 in each.
And then we do another sort and do it district by district to maintain the geographic or district balance that we're after.
So if we had 3 in from each district, that would give us 12. And then we could add 3 more at our pleasure from any district or anything. Does that make sense? Is that kind of what you were saying?
Yeah, you just said it better, Chair.
Well, you said it first. It's easier to process.
We still need another one from number 2 from District.
Okay, District 2, there's Robert Moreno and Maritza. Anybody want to speak for either one?
I'd speak for Robert Moreno because he's a journalist who extensively covered the last /first the creation of the first redistricting commission and the operation of the commission. So he actually has some familiarity with how the commission should work. That's why he was on my list.
Yeah, he scored high on my matrix. He just didn't hit the top 12.
I would add my vote for Mr. Moreno.
Yeah. Well, he was on my first round. And Maritza, I have a note that she was involved with MAAC, but now I don't remember what that means.
She was on the list of.
I can tell you what MAC is.
Okay.
And actually, that's a good qualification. It's a tough choice here. It's a nonprofit organization that generally tries to help the underprivileged community.
Yeah, she was on my list, and I took that into consideration. So I'm certainly fine with her making the list.
Why don't we both on?
I agree, since District 2 only had 1 out of the top 8, so both of them being on would be good.
Yeah,
I agree.
Any objections to that at this point? We can revisit once we're done. Okay, so tentatively, I don't know what you want to do, put an asterisk or something by Robert and Maritza.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Just put an asterisk by them.
And then District 4, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 people. No, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, 1 person. Cynthia Aragundy. She was on my list, actually. My notes are that she's a realtor, which is very useful in redistricting. And she also worked for the U.S. Postal Service, so she's familiar with some of the details of how things work.
Yeah, I would support putting her on the list too.
I as well.
Yeah, I would too, just for geographic reasons. I think we need to get a couple more on 4, just kind of go down and so I support.
So is it okay to put an asterisk by her?
Yeah. What do we have from the, well, we'll see when we, yeah, let's do that. The top 8 may be in District 4 too, some.
Yeah, how many from the top 8 were in District 4?
2.
2. So now there's
So now there's 3. So yeah, that's
Or
good
4.
representation.
3 or 4. Okay. Okay, that's, so can we go, yeah. Now in District 1 and District 3, District 1 has 3 and District 3 has 6. 1, 2. Anybody's like really gung-ho on any of them and want to nominate or suggest?
I think I would suggest eliminating a couple from District 3.
I think we should add Carl Harry from District 1.
Because?
What I liked on his resume is that he has experience being on a commission for the City of Chula Vista, the Growth Management Oversight Commission. And even though this isn't within Chula Vista, he was on the Kearney Mesa Planning Group development projects, so he might have an understanding of like land surveying possibly or something like that. It seemed relevant to me.
Yeah, I agree. That's why he made my list, Commissioner McDonald.
He would have oversight of overview of the city, has a sense of what.
Yes, I think he'd be a good candidate to add.
I don't have any objection to that.
Yeah. Let's put an asterisk there for temporarily at least. I would recommend Carmelita Lara Boster. Just reading it, she's a realtor. She's very enthusiastic and very, I don't know, seems like an exciting resume and stuff. She's also, I think, Filipino, which is important community for, although more for District 1, I believe, or maybe 3, I don't remember. But anyway, I would recommend her.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. She scored in my second tier.
I know I wasn't wild about her. Her resume I thought was a lot of self-aggrandizement. I don't know if she would work well as a team player.
Make my cut, so yeah.
She didn't make my list either.
What about other people on the list? Other Edgar?
I had Francis Boric on mine.
I had Manuel
Rotary.
Manuel Vasquez on mine for District 1.
Manuel Vasquez.
I thought we added Manuel Vasquez.
No, that's when we thought he was in District 2.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Yes.
Oh. I liked Vasquez because I think he brings a different kind of diversity to the commission. You know, he's a plumber, probably union, and I think he's the one who had the letter of recommendation that was interesting. But you know, all of these, 2 of us voted on all of these. So we have what, 8 or 9? 8, and now 4 more would be 12.
I thought we had 9.
Christina, is it 8 plus 4 is 12 is where we're standing right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we need at least 3 more.
I have no objection to Mr. Valdez, or Vasquez, excuse me.
I have a note on Sophia Rodriguez that she was a community member and not specifically, you know, a realtor or a lawyer or something like that. But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, for somebody from District 3, I agree with that.
I like Gloria Hurtado. On her resume, if you recall reading, she established districts in Santa Rosa.
Ah, that's right.
I think that would be relevant knowledge.
Yeah, I like her as well, so I would support her.
Yeah, I'd be fine with her too.
I as well.
So let me see. I've heard Vasquez, Hurtado, Rodriguez,
I think the majority of us said okay
Boster.
with. Majority of us, I think, said okay with Hurtado.
Okay, so those we're looking to add 3. Some people were less positive about Laura Boster and the. Okay, so you got Vasquez, Hurtado, and Rodriguez. Are there others that somebody thinks should be included?
I think we heard a consensus of 4, at least for Hurtado. That's the only applicant I've heard 4 for, I think.
I had Frances Boric on my list, but
Yeah, I had her on mine too, actually.
So
Burke said the issue was really important to him or her. We don't have to have 15. I mean, if we added Vasquez, Hurtado, Rodriguez, and Boric, that would be 16.
That makes sense to me. I just lost track on District 4 apparently is way underrepresented and District 3 is overrepresented.
Well, we've already selected the member that's from 4 from the tiebreakers, Todd.
We have 2 from 4.
Well, we have selected in the tiebreaker population, Cynthia Aragundy, that's the asterisk buyer. She's the only one that's from District 4.
Among these?
Among the tiebreakers.
Yeah.
But from the original 8, I think there were 2 others from District 4.
Can we see how many we have from each district with these asterisks added?
Yeah, there were 2 from 4 in the original 8, so there's 3 from 4, and like.
Right. So
that's a better distribution. But what do we have? 8 now? Is that what if we go with the asterisks, we have 8?
No, you add the asterisks to the original 8, right? So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 at this point. We're looking for 2 more candidates, and we can use the district population. I mean, 4, we've already depleted the candidates, but now you could try to pop up district. I'm sorry, it's moving around on me. 1.
What I'm trying to see is, I lost it now, but
yeah, if we could take and add the asterisk names to the district population, then we could get a scorecard of what the gap is, and then we could close it by going to District 1 if that's the least amount. 3, it was already fairly flush with our original. So that's the tally there, but there's 1 more, right? Yeah, so we take the 8 and we add the asterisks, right? So that's the 13 that we've agreed. Correct? Everybody agree with that?
So we only need 2 more.
So we have 13, and now that cell H21, that's the grand total, and it's broken out by the district population, which is very even at this point.
I suggest we get 1 more for 1, 2, and 4.
Yes, but we don't have candidates from 4. There's no remaining candidates from 4. So let's just go into District 1. And we talked about Manuel Vasquez, and several people were okay with him. Why don't we add him?
Yeah, I agree.
That brings up District 1.
Okay, put an asterisk there.
And then, Christina, you also get to change the tally a little bit.
Which one did you,
It was
Would you like an
Manuel
asterisk
Vasquez, and he's from District 1. So we add an asterisk by his name in column D4, and then we change the district population accordingly, because now we have 14. There we go. And now it's all 1 and 3. So we could, does anyone have a burning spot with William O'Rourke?
I like his resume.
What did I write?
He's a former
What
judge.
district are you from?
He's a former judge up in King County, Washington, and for some reason he stopped being a judge and went to Arizona, and then he ended up here.
I mean, I did have him as one of my top picks.
So to finish my thought, I don't know if I would put him on the list.
What district is he from?
He's from 1. And what would the
He lives
reason
here,
be on? Because he was a judge?
Okay, let's talk one at a time. Let's do this for a second.
Besides
So
the fact,
regarding
besides the fact that he was sanctioned as a judge when he was a judge, he stopped being a judge.
What was he sanctioned for?
Can't remember.
Was that in his application and stuff?
No, of course not.
Okay.
How'd you know?
I'm curious.
Well, it doesn't matter. We can.
I'm curious. I got curious about why he didn't retire directly to San Diego from King County. I can understand moving from King County. I can understand moving from King County, Washington, because I've been there, but I actually worked there for a summer. But I'm not comfortable with him at all.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think if it's not, I think if it's not in the application, we have to give it less weight.
I disagree.
The issue is we've got what one? Oh, I was just counting the asterisks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 asterisks plus the original 8 is 14, right? Is that right?
Yes, that's the total that's in column H, row 21.
Okay, so we need one more. And so it could be from anywhere.
Right.
How about if I may, one more.
Out of the ones that don't have asterisks, maybe each of us could pick one and see if we can get a majority on any of them.
If I may comment, I'd like to see one added to 2 and one added to 4. And as far as I'm concerned, well, okay, that's what I'd like to see. Actually, maybe I should move for that. So that's my motion.
Okay.
No
So
applicants from
go
4.
into the list of people that are not on the screen at the moment.
Right.
Do I hear a second for that motion? There's no second, so I think the motion fails.
So we had mentioned a couple of names earlier in discussion, Miguel Duran and Francis Boric. Does anyone have a burning desire to add them? Because if we throw out William O'Rourke, and I'm okay with that, if there's something that any of us know that would deem him unacceptable, that's fine. If then we have to select somebody from District 3. And the previous names that we've discussed from District 3 is Francis Boric and Miguel Duran.
Well, I also suggested Sofia Rodriguez as a community member. And what was Val Jimenez? He was the FBI person.
Yeah, I'm fine with Rodriguez, and it helps balance the gender pool too.
Well, that's a thought.
Is there a way to tell what the gender is now between the 14 candidates that we have. I don't remember everybody from the list, from the first 8.
Yes, I can.
Well, we had 3 women and 3 men so far. But yeah, I don't remember. Carrie?
If you would like to take a recess, it probably would take us about 10 minutes to rerun the diversity. So if that's something that's important to the commission, we can certainly do that for you.
No, they can just put the names up so we can see it. Just show it. We'll be able to figure it out.
Yes.
Oh. Francis Swan, is that a man or woman?
I think that was a man. I think he went by Frank, but
Okay.
I can't say for sure.
Yeah.
Is that the correct name? Oh, actually, never mind. I was thinking about Francis Boric.
So of the 8, it looks like it's half and half.
Wait a minute. Francis Swan, I don't see on the list. I see Francis Boric.
Is that Michael Juan?
It's probably Michael Juan.
I think it's Michael Juan. Yeah, because I don't remember seeing a Francis Juan in the master list.
Yeah, it's Michael Juan.
It's Michael Juan on 6.
Yeah, I think everybody voted for him almost. Okay, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. 3,
So there were 3. There were 3 women in the first group.
5, 4. So it's 8 to 7, male to female. Is that right? Do we have 6?
I think it's 4 male and 4 female, right? From the first 8 that we chose.
Kenesha, Stella, Jacqueline.
And Alidia, that's a woman.
Yeah.
So we're even there.
Yeah, 4, yeah. And we're even on the second list, 3 male to 3 female, I believe. So whoever we want.
Yeah.
My suggestion is we each vote for one on the second list that's not have an asterisk and see if one of them can get a majority.
Great.
Does that seem?
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We go back to the asterisk list now,
Yeah.
I agree.
just to make it easier on us.
Yes.
Watch, we'll each pick a different one.
Well, I'm going to stick with who I voted for originally.
So I'm going to suggest we write it down. Do I need to make this into a motion, Jill?
And this is a straw poll vote, basically.
No, a consensus is fine at this point, and then
Okay.
you can vote.
I'm going
on
to
the final
suggest
list.
we write down the name of the person we voted for so we feel a sense of permanence. And then when everybody's ready to vote, we can see what people say.
This is from the non-app.
Yes, from the list that you see now, but the ones that are not asterisk. So William O'Rourke,
Francis Bork.
Francis Bork, Miguel Duran, Val Jimenez, Carmelita, and Sophia.
And just a comment, as I see it, none of those are from 2 or 4, so I don't have a vote for any of those. I would
Then you
wanna
can
see.
abstain
Yeah.
if you want.
We don't. There's no more applicants for 4. That's the
There-
problem with 4.
And 2, we've already selected
No,
the
but
2
this
that we're
is a
into.
list.
Well, Todd, you already suggested that we add somebody from District 2 and 4 from the other people, and nobody seconded the motion, so,
I'm asking again. Okay.
yeah. Anybody want more time? No? Should the secretary go through the list? Or should I do it?
Why don't you do it, Chair?
Okay, so why don't we just tell who they said? Jan?
Miguel Duran.
Okay. And Edgar?
Francis Boric.
Commissioner Disharoon?
Miguel Duran.
Todd?
I wouldn't have a candidate from this list,
Okay.
as previously
Rachel?
stated.
Miguel Duran.
And me, I guess. Rodriguez. So 3 vote for Miguel Duran. 3 out of 6.
I say we put
Any
an
objection
asterisk,
to
actually,
it?
we put an asterisk by his name and add all the asterisks to our other list, and that'll be 15.
Okay, so let's see what that list looks like.
Nice. So we have 15 in column H21 now.
Districts are reasonable.
And we've already done the male, female, and
Yeah, that's,
diversity.
so
Looks
there's
good to
one extra, there's I think 8 male and 7 female, is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so can we see the whole list and then so everybody can feel comfortable with every single person on the list? Just the 15 we selected.
You just want to see them listed out?
Yeah, the 15, yeah. I'm amazed that you can do this.
Because then we're going to vote.
I
There we
think, is Francis Boric in that? No,
No.
okay. You got 15 names. The district a little bigger. Okay, good. So I'm just going to walk through this. Out of these 15, does anyone have a strong objection to anyone or feel that someone different would be much better suited? Another way to put it, Edgar? Or are you just gesturing?
Yeah, no, I'm just looking at the list. I'm trying to like.
Is it too small?
I'm expanding it with my little magnifying glass.
Okay.
I don't have a problem with any of them. I move that we invite all these people to the next meeting and have them present their 3-minute videos and be on phone standby.
I second that.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Can we have a little discussion still? My question is there anybody missing from the list that you really would love to be on there? I don't hear anybody speaking. So, okay.
Do we have 16 people that we're looking at right here?
No, 15.
Oh,
'Cause
15. Yeah.
First row is just the headers.
Just for the record, I have a problem with the number representation in the districts, but I've already said that a couple of times. Okay.
So the motion's been made and seconded, and can we have a roll call vote? No, we need to do the 2 minutes now, right?
2-minute
Chair
warning.
Schofield, we did take 2-minute commenting period during following the diversity analysis.
Okay.
So we don't have to do another one, but certainly in your discretion if you'd like us to set that up again.
I don't think so. I mean, are there any comments there? Yeah, I mean, we should. If we fulfilled our requirement, then we don't need to do another 2 minutes.
Sorry, there were no comments.
No comments listed. Anybody watching? We don't know. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. So can the secretary call a roll call vote?
Sure. I will now request each member's vote by roll call. Chair Schofield.
Aye.
Commissioner Budding.
Aye.
Commissioner DeSharoon.
Aye.
Commissioner Glantz.
Nay.
Commissioner Hopita.
Aye.
Commissioner McDonald.
Aye.
Thank you.
And what's the total?
The total votes were yes, 7 commissioners.
No. Can't be. 5, maybe.
5-1.
I apologize. 6 yes, 1 no.
Yeah, passed.
Are there 7 of us tonight? I think it's only 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. I think it's
Okay.
5-1.
Let me do that over. So
Okay.
it's 5 yes, 1 no.
Okay. So we passed, we have our list, and so, oh, now I got to find maybe Carrie should remind us what's going to happen next.
Yes, so so congratulations and thank you. That was good discussion. I think we have a great pool of candidates. The other direction that we need from the commission is what you would like us to ask the candidates to present to you during their video candidate statement. So last time the Charter Review Commission simply asked candidates, why do you want to be on the districting commission? That's certainly an option. It's open to whatever the commission would like to do. We just need that direction so we can pass that on to these applicants and ask them to prepare their statements.
Okay. Suggestions?
I thought we had decided to go with that, or at least we talked about it. And
We did talk about it.
we could ask questions from their answers to dig deeper into any issues that we saw a potential for, or to get clarification on their position. So that question, it's 15 candidates. That question is going to be answered in several minutes. There's going to be several minutes of questioning, I would think, off of their answer. That seems to be a really good start to me, with follow-up questions by each commissioner allowed.
We could ask them why they want to be on the commission and then what makes them qualified.
Yeah, I agree with Rachel. I think those are the 2 questions that should be asked.
Yeah, I agree. I was afraid to say so, but I agree.
Don't be afraid to say whatever.
I agree with Rachel also.
I agree with Rachel's cat too.
So can we restate the question? The question is, Rachel?
To ask them why they want to be on the commission or what qualifies them to be on the commission.
Okay, so somebody's writing this down. Why they're, okay. And so do I hear a motion for that?
I'll motion that to be the questions asked in the 3-minute video of candidates.
Second.
Okay, wait, so you've added 3 minutes, is that?
I thought that's what it was.
That's what it is.
We need to vote on it.
Oh.
So 3-minute video, okay.
We already voted on that last meeting, I think.
Oh, okay, okay, so we've got the 2 questions and it's 3 minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
That was Jan, okay. Any discussion? Do we need a comment now from the public for this? No? Okay. Let's do the roll call vote.
Okay, I will now request each member's vote by roll call. Chair Schofield,
Aye.
Commissioner Budding,
Aye.
Commissioner DeSharoon,
Aye.
Commissioner Glantz,
Aye.
Commissioner Hopita,
Aye.
Commissioner McDonald.
Aye.
Thank you.
So it passes. Are we set ready for the next meeting then? Yes? Okay, so there's still a couple things on the agenda. Staff comments? Are there any?
Just one thing, Commissioner Schofield, is that, as you all know, there's a AB 1234/ethics training requirement as you serve as a commissioner. Some of you on the commission are coming up for that deadline in January, and there is a city-sponsored, actually, it'll be given by our city attorney, Glenn Googans, next week on October 1st. So for those of you who are interested, that will be available for you free of cost to meet that requirement.
Is he going to give out gift certificates for correct answers again?
I think he said he's actually disqualifying you, Jan, from participating.
Todd will take my place.
Okay.
Was that already
I'd like to
zoned
comment.
out? I'm trying to get video working still.
Oh, I'd comment that even if you have the time, it's a great thing to listen to refresh your memory too. And that's my
Yeah,
chair's
he makes it
comment.
as engaging as it can be under the circumstances.
Yeah,
And it counts for CLE. It counts for CLE, Todd.
yeah. Any other staff comments from anybody else? Okay, chair's comments. I just want to thank everybody. It took a long time, but I don't know how it compared to the time before, but we got it done. And thank you all very much.
It actually ran very smoothly compared to the time before. So thank you all.
Well, we all did a good job.
Good night.
So any commissioner member comments? Jan?
Yeah, I'd like to. It was really clear that everybody spent a lot of time going through all the resumes and everything. I really like to thank everybody for taking the time to do that, because I know personally that it took a long time to do that. And,
Yeah.
And I thought it went really smooth. So thank you all.
Okay, good. Any other comments? No? Okay, it is 8:23 p.m. And I am adjourning this meeting to the next special meeting of the Charter Review Commission on October 7th, 2020 in the council chambers, but probably online.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Thanks.
Bye.